Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Padri, and in today's video we're gonna be choosing my March TBR. There's a slight problem over here, is that I'm currently not living in my house. I just moved out of my parents' house and I left nearly all my books over there. So what I've done is I've written a list of books that I have here or on my Kindle that I can read, or that are gonna be here in the next 2 weeks because my parents are coming to see me, so I'm gonna ask them to bring some books. So what I've done is I wrote down 14 books and tried to put together similar books. So then I'll choose one of them, and the way I'm gonna choose them is by looking on Goodreads which has the highest rating. I haven't looked them up. For some of them I may have a slight idea of which book is gonna be the highest, but first I'm gonna talk about which books I have on my list. So over here I have some of the physical books I want to read this month. So the first book on my list is The Assassin's Blade. This is the first book, or one of the books, depending on which order you read the series. It can be the first or the third, I think, but I'm gonna read this one the first. So this is The Assassin's Blade, the first book from the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. It's a fantasy book. I know nothing else about it. Then we have Magnolia Parks. Okay, I just reread the first Magnolia Parks book, and I was thinking on rereading the second Magnolia Parks book before reading the third one, but depending on the mood I'm in, I'll read this one or I'll just jump into the next one, because I already read this one and I don't know if I'm able to endure this pain and heartache every time I read one of these books. So maybe I'll just jump into the next one and that's it, and leave this one for another time. And this is a romance book, but I think it's more character driven than plot driven. The next book is also on my physical little library that I have here, and that would be Never by Jessa Hastings. I'm really hesitant on this book because there's been a lot of bad reviews and people that love her didn't like this book, so I hope I like it, because if not, it's going to be a hard thing to, I don't know, if not, it's going to be hard to love the Magnolia Parks universe so much and not like this one. But let's hope I'm not one of these people and I do enjoy it. It's kind of fantasy book, but it's more of a romance with magical realism. I may say it's a Peter Pan reimagining, so a romance book. Then we have Consider Me. This is a hockey romance. I love hockey romances. I love hockey. I have never in my life seen a hockey game, but I have read a lot of hockey books, so I'm excited for this series, and the first book is coming out soon and I will be buying that. The last physical book I have here right now at this moment is Thrive. Again, this is another reread. I've been slowly making my way through the Addicted/Callaway Sisters series for a second time, and I've been enjoying it so much, and this is the next book on my agenda for that series. And now we're starting with my Kindle reads. The first one we have is The Catch. I'm not really excited for this read, but I did kind of enjoy the first 2 books. They weren't the best books ever, but I'm the type of person that can't leave something unfinished, so I already read the first 2, why not read the third one, you know? Then we have Birdtown, which is a literary fiction book. That's the only thing I know, and I'm not really sure if that's 100% true. Then we have Alphas Like Us. This is from the same author of the Addicted series, but this other series follows the kids of these characters. So I already read the first 2 books in this series and I really enjoyed them, so I'm making my ways through this other series, but again at a really slow pace. This series has 13 books in it, so slow. Then a book that's coming to my house in the next 2 weeks with my parents is gonna be the 7 Years Sleep. Again, magical realism. There's like a flat where two people from different years coexist, something like that. I don't really understand it a lot, but people are loving it, so I decided I was going to read it. Another Kindle read would be The Darkest Corner of the Heart. Is the second book after The Brightest Light of Sunshine, and I really enjoyed that romance. I think I never really talk about it on my channel, but I did really enjoy it at the time. Another romance, obviously. Then we have The Prison Healer. This is the only other fantasy I have on my makeshift TBR where I'm going to choose from. And I think it's about a girl that works in this prison, and the queen of some place gets into the prison and she has to go through some trials, but she's sick, so the main character decides to do the trials for her, something like that. I'm not really sure. Again, I don't like knowing about the books I'm reading before reading them. Then we have Bride. This is a new release by Ali Hazelwood. I'm really intrigued because this is something new for her. She has been writing STEM romances. She just published not long ago her first young adult romance, which I loved. So I'm really excited for this one. Then another book I've got coming is Picking Daisies on Sundays. I know nothing about this book. I know it's a romance. I know the cover is so cute. It was an impulse buy. Okay? Then we have Tomorrow. I did read my first book by Gabrielle Sevin this last December. It was my last book of the year. I completely loved this book, and that's not normal for me because I usually don't like literary fiction books. They bore me sometimes, but this one was amazing, so I decided I would just jump into Tomorrow because everybody loves it, so why not? And that would be the 14 books I have on my little list to pick from. And what I've done is with some colors, I've just divided them into pairs to choose from those pairs, you know? So then I can have like one fantasy, one romance, one literary fiction, and like that. And the pairs I've made are, let me see. The first one is The Assassin's Blade with The Prison Healer, obviously, because they're the only two fantasies in my TBR. Then we have Magnolia. Not sure if it's going to be this one or the other one. Magnolia Parks with Bride, because they're both new releases, and that's why I paired them up together. Then the next one would be Never and The 7 Years Sleep, because it's kind of magical realism, more or less. Then I did Consider Me with The Catch, and this has no reason. It's just the last two on my list that I don't know with what I should pair them with, so they're together. Consider Me and The Catch. Then we have Berta with Tomorrow, because they are both literary fiction. Alphas Like Us and Thrive, because they're from the same authors, so just put them together that way. The Darkest Corner of the Heart, I picked it with Picking Daisies on Sundays, because they're both romances and they're all paired up right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into my Goodreads and I'll take screenshots so you can see what I'm seeing, but I'm gonna go into my Goodreads and look up the average rating. So want to read The Assassin's Blade is 4.25 and The Prison Healer 4.21. Okay, so the first book on our TBR is The Assassin's Blade. This is a really big commitment because it's an 8-book series, but we're gonna go with that. The Assassin's Blade. Then between Magnolia Parks 3, 4.59, and Bride is 4.17. So Magnolia Parks wins. Then it's between Never and The 7 Years Sleep. Never is 3.25. That's a really low rating. And The 7 Years Sleep is 4.28. So we are going with the 7-year sleep. Then between Consider Me and The Catch, Consider Me is 3.98 and The Catch is 3.80. So we're going with Consider Me. I love that for me. Okay. Between Birdtown and Tomorrow, I think it's going to be Tomorrow because everybody loves it. There's no way the other one is going to have a higher rating. Okay, Birdtown is 4.29, really high, and Tomorrow is 4.18. So wait, what? Okay, this is crazy, no? Birdtown is higher. I didn't expect that. Okay, then we have to choose between Thrive and Alphas Like Us. I'm guessing Thrive is gonna have a higher rating because it's further along in the series, and usually the closer you get to the end of a series, the higher the rating. So let's see. Thrive has a rating of 4.05, kind of low. I thought it was going to be higher. And Alphas Like Us has a rating of 4.2. So we're reading Alphas Like Us today. I'm not catching the vibe of anything. I'm thinking people think differently. I don't know why. But well, then we have between The Darkest Corner of the Heart, 3.92, and Picking Days and Sundays, which is 4.05. So that means we're reading Picking Days and Sundays. I was hoping I could get to The Darkest Corner of the Heart. I'm only choosing 7 books, so I'm guessing I'm gonna be able to read that one either way. So the books we're reading this month are, or trying to. I'm not saying I'm going to read all these books. I'm saying I'm gonna try to, and I'm gonna have them in the front of my mind whenever I think of picking a new book. But I don't know if I'm gonna be on the mood to read all of these, and I hate making myself read books that I'm not in the mood for. So let's hope I get to all of them, or if not, most of them. First pick was The Assassin's Blade. Second pick is Magnolia Parks. Again, not sure if it's going to be Magnolia Parks 2 or Magnolia Parks 3. Consider Me. Beartown on my Kindle. Alphas Like Us, again on my Kindle. The 7-Year Sleep, it's gonna be a physical book, but I don't have it on my hands yet. And Picking Days and Sundays, again, another physical book that I don't have on my hands yet. So I think it's quite a good TBR I made for myself. We have literary fiction, we have fantasy, and we have a lot of romance, which I love. I hope you liked today's video. I'll try to do this type of picking my TBR more often, but I usually don't do it because I'm a mood reader, and I hate not saying this is my TBR and not reading it. I'll see you next time. Bye.